But like it's like how do vendors keep getting away with it? So like they fool you to say it's easy. It's not easy. It's like, well, I'm not going to get fooled again, but we've gotten fooled again and again and again and again. Do we have responsibility to help provide balance to that conversation, or are the vendors going to do what they do and we need to fight our battles internally?
I think we need to interject ourselves more into the conversation. Maybe tell our internal allies, the marketers or whatever team is looking at some new tools, saying like um, if you want this integrated with the rest of the data sources, if you wanted to eventually feed into the BI team or the data warehouse, or you want us to support it in any way, like we need to be involved in the the process. We need to be able to help vet the vendor to make sure that it fits in with the rest of the ecosystem at the organization. Because I think a lot of times that's something they'll be I have no idea what what other I don't know what the data warehouse is or whatnot, and we
Yeah.
can provide that expertise to them too. I think it's not meant to be a competitive thing, more of a way to better support um, those partners. We just need to make ourselves known that we should be more involved from the very beginning.
How do we do that in a healthy way where we don't come off as just annoying? Because I think I've seen marketing teams kind of take that perspective of it's like, Jason, just go away. Like we don't want you to poke holes in this. We just want to buy this thing and have fun with it. And so like just leave us alone. Like how do we interject ourselves into that conversation in a meaningful way? But not come off as just they're kind of poking holes in something that they were super excited about that's gonna solve all their problems.
Yeah, I guess we just need. I mean, for me, it's just more about the building the trust that we're not trying to make things more difficult. We're actually trying to make things more easy for them. We're trying to help them be able to extract data or insights from the tool, maybe uh, in a way that would be difficult for them to do on their own. I mean, they have to realize too that maybe it's not exactly a completely self-service thing, unless they're the ones who want to prioritize or do the actual implementation themselves as well. Um, yeah, I I think there's just kind of like a yeah in the workflow we just need to make sure that we're codependent on each other somehow. I'm not yeah
Yeah, no, I agree, and again, I think
it's a challenge.
it's a very real challenge, and again, I think it speaks to the importance of having this broader analytics initiative prioritized higher in the organization, so that there is a strategy and a direction set, and it's not this kind of land grab like this is ours or this is yours and we're fighting for territory, but
Hmm.
more we're working together in unison to solve a specific problem. And that for me has always been the challenge. It was a huge challenge when I was on the client side. Is I was embedded in marketing, and it was positioned that my role is a marketing analytics role, and I need to adhere to how marketing thinks about data and not how the business thinks about data. I'm like, aren't we all part of the same thing here? To the point where I got into quite an argument with the VP of marketing because they wanted me to publish numbers that I didn't feel good standing behind because they didn't make sense for how the rest of the business looked at the data and said, but this is how marketing defines this metric because it makes it look like our job, we're doing our job at a better rate or doing better at our job. I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like, so we have to break outside of that mold of it's like us versus they're like we all work for the same company. We should have, and maybe this comes back to the importance of having aligned goals and outcomes that we're aligning those with a bigger cause, not just what's best for our department.
Yeah, my stance as an analytics practitioner has always tried to be as neutral as possible internally. Um, so yeah, I mean I've gotten similar types of requests in the past too, but I will just refuse to even say if something's good or bad, and just like we're meant to. I mean, good news or bad news, we're meant to report on what's
Yeah,
uh, going on.
absolutely. Like we need to be the independent voice, to speak for the data and the customers that sit behind that data. I think we have to admit that that can be really, really difficult if we roll up through a team that has
Hmm.
misaligned incentives.
Yeah.
Um, because you or I may feel comfortable standing up and saying, but I guarantee you there's lots of people that are reporting up through the VP of marketing. They see some bad data and they're like, well, wait a minute, this person that I'm going to push back against is responsible for my pay raises, my promotions, my bonuses. Maybe I'll just let this one slide. And so I think it's important to recognize if we're going to sit within specific organizations like that, that whether there's an inherent conflict of interest or not, there is within the employee to a superior. It's like, I don't know if I want to push back against this.